So here is good. Yep. You want me to hold the mic and look right at the camera? Oh no. Okay, over there. Okay. And can I drink some coffee on screen?
No, no,
No?
too
Oh,
much,
okay.
too
Well,
many distractions would be.
check that mug out. It's quite on point, isn't it? Anyway. All right. Okay, okay. I'm ready. My name is Joeseph Stallham. I'm here today to talk about my experiences going to watch the movie Jurassic Park at London's Leicester Square Cinema. I believe it was called Empire. In July of 1993, because I won a ticket to go to that screening to be amongst the stars and the royal family. And so now it's been a number of years. Some people wanted to know about what it was like going there as someone like me. And so here I am to tell my story. If memory serves me correctly, it was February of 1993 that the mayor at the Beckles Society meeting announced a competition to win this ticket to the screening. And it was a draw your own dinosaur competition for children. Now, unfortunately, being an adult at the time, I couldn't enter it. So I had to come up with a plan if I wanted to win the ticket. So I came up with this a fake child called Jimmy Stallham, a long distant cousin that I hadn't told anyone about or anything. But they entered in a picture of a very inventive dinosaur called a Tree Rex, a sort of cross between a tree and a T Rex. Because I thought that would actually, be a sure win, because who would think to do something like that? But I did not win. A young child drew a Stegosaurus. His little boy called Liam won it, drawing a Stegosaurus. But unfortunately for Liam, his parents died in a tragic car accident about a week later. So he couldn't go to this screening because the family was in a state of bereavement. So the ticket then went on. And this is such a sad state of affairs that happened between the months of February uh, and July 1993. The next family who got it, they went to the Beckles swimming pool, and unfortunately, there was a section of the walkway was covered in this soap, just so much soap. It was like someone had just poured soap out everywhere, and the parent, or one of the parents, I believe it was the father, fell over, slipped on the soap, and broke his neck. Um, and the police thought it was intentional, but they didn't have any evidence to prove otherwise, because the CCTV cameras had been tampered with, and so yes, that the ticket went to another family, and if I remember correctly, they went to a Kaylee with some of the other runners up, and yeah, that was when the great barn fire of Beckles took place, and many people were burnt to a crisp. But eventually, the ticket did come down to me. It did fall into my lap, into Jimmy Stallham's lap, and then I made up a story about how Jimmy was sick, and then I got to go myself. So it was a good time. So no hard feelings, and my deepest sympathies to everyone who passed away and all the families who had to deal with those tragedies. But I went to go have a good time for them. And so I went down to London's Leicester Street, go down the red carpet. I got to meet some of the royals, and some of the stars from the movie. I did see Mr. Spielberg from a distance, but I didn't get to say hello to him, unfortunately. What I didn't expect was where I was going to be sat. This ticket granted me access to a very prestigious seat alongside Lord Richard Attenborough himself, who played one of the characters in the movie Jurassic Park. old Dickie, as I like to call him. We talked for quite a while during the movie about budgie shops and all the stuff that I do. And he seemed very interested. So I was calling him Dickie until he had to go to the toilet about an hour into the movie. And the poor old soul, I think, was maybe having some trouble because he never came back. And sat to my right was Mr. Sam Neill, who played Dr. Alan Grunt in the film. He was a bit of a displeasure to sit next to, I will admit. The man was odorous. He broke wind a number of times and tried to blame it on everyone around him, including me. And I swear to you, during one of the more exciting parts of the film, I could feel his little fingers twiddling about at the entrance of my pocket trying to get at the loose change in there, to which I slapped his hand away and told him to stop. He raised his voice, denied what I was accusing him of, and that caused Bob Peck, who was sat in front of us, he was another one of the actors from the movie, to stand up and tell me to f*** off. And I said to him, Mr. Neil is the one causing all this, and Mr. Bob Peck did not like this. He told me that I was smelly, that I shouldn't be here, and then he left. So there is this rift between me and actor Bob Peck that will last forevermore because the poor soul has passed away. So thank you, Mr. Neil, for that. After all the kerfuffle, when the film was finished, Mr. Neil did try to reconcile with me by returning my wallet that he claimed he'd found on the floor by our seats, to which I thanked him. You know, I'm a polite fellow. But after all these years and thinking about it somewhat, I have this to say. Mr. Neil, if you're watching this video, I want my £10 back, please. I did not like standing out in the rain after the screening to beg for change like some pauper on the street so I could get to the train station and get back to Beccles. Why were you stealing my money? Why were you fishing about in my pocket? You're a well-paying actor. You don't need my money. Why were you taking it from me? What's your problem, Mr. Neil? I wondered what that shit-eating grin was all about when you walked away from me after giving my wallet back. You piece of... I'm sorry. The man just gets under my skin. But yes, it was lovely to sit in between the stars and meet the royals and go on this amazing trip to London and have a great time.
What were your thoughts on the movie itself?
The movie, I don't really remember much about the film, actually, if I'm honest. I remember seeing some like rubber dinosaurs on screen, and you know, those type of movies aren't exactly for me. Some of you might know I'm a little bit of a horror enthusiast, and I like some of the more intense movies, whereas these sort of more kid-friendly films aren't for me. No, I was there to be with the stars and live it up for a day. Happy Jurassic June, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed listening to my story about when I went to the screening of Jurassic Park at London's Leicester Square in 1993 with the stars and the royals. It's a memory that will live on with me forever. I'm sorry I had to recall some of the darker times of that year, but hopefully there's a light at the end of the tunnel when you hear about my experiences sitting next to Lord Richard Attenborough and Sam Neill. I know some of you out there like him. And yes, I hope you enjoy the rest of Jurassic June. If you have any requirements for your pet budgies, or if you'd like a little new feathery friend yourself, you can find me at Feathers for You down Blybrogate in Beccles. We're open 9 till 5 every day of the week except Sundays. And